Having a good time out there. I got the markets on this screen over here, so I can always watch those out of the corner of my eyes. And let's see, I was calling this the calm before the storm because I'm seeing some things that have me a little bit concerned. Right now, the market is holding up, but I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm wondering we need to keep a close eye on, and it really could kind of go either way. So we're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to show some examples out there. And then I want to show you something from last week where I was talking about the FOMC. And we had the FOMC come out on Wednesday, basically no change, and I totally called it, and I said, look, in my years of experience with the FOMC, it's not usually the day that moves, it's the next day, and that's when we got that massive move down last week on Thursday. So let me kind of go through that. But if you want to come over here to profitpilot.com, this is the website that I have, and I write some blogs up here trying to tell people what it is that I do, how it works. Come check out the social medias, I think down on the bottom right. Yeah, you can get the Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So come check it out, join part of the club, and kind of be part of the communication. And it's really great. I enjoy a lot of these subscribers that I have because you guys are actually helping me find some stocks, so it's fun, and it keeps me engaged and tuned in with the market. Yeah, good morning, Imran. Good to see you all. And let me do this so I can get my cursor up and running. Forgot to do that, a little something. Alright, so the thing we'll be going through, let me show you this in just a moment. Slide this over. Okay, so here are some screenshots, and one of the things that I was talking about is right here. So going into last week, we had a bunch of tickers that were totally running. Remember, I talked about sector rotation a few weeks ago, and they were all going into airlines and cruise lines and hotels and casinos because the idea was, well, the coronavirus vaccine should be ready to go by the end of the year, and let's plan ahead for these things opening up. Las Vegas was starting to open up, and all these good things were starting to kind of come out on the news wires. And so we got some really good moves. We got at least 50% in GoGo. We got ASNA, which is a retail thing. We got 85% gain on that one. So that actually helped me get my biggest dollar account gain. It was about $100,000 last Friday or so. I was on an airplane traveling 2 Fridays ago. I was on an airplane traveling back to Austin. So you can travel and trade and do it all like that. But what I was seeing here is that when price is up too high, and I'll show this in the examples, but when price is too high and it starts to roll over, for me, the soonest indication of that is when price gets underneath the 15-minute 50. And here's a post that I made on the 10th saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing. These tickers are all showing this, plus the IWM just showed this, and I'm starting to see the S&P show this. So let me kind of show what this looks like so that we don't have to always just look at words and understand what this concept is. And if you look here, see how right there price got underneath the 15-minute 50, and that was Wednesday, the FOMC day, right there. And that's what I was saying, price was underneath the 15-minute 50, the Moxie indicator was below 0, price was super high, and even on the daily chart, I mean, look at this thing, price was way up here outside of the third ATR. So I looked at this and I said, this does not spell good news. So I made this post, and then the next post that I made was right here. Here was the news. FOMC came out, no real change from the Fed. I want to wait and see what happens tomorrow before I go back into positions to make sure there isn't a trap door with the market, because this is what I've seen with the FOMC. A lot of times the day is not the move, it's the next day once everybody's heard the news and they can do their things, and the big money can do whatever. So as a hedge to that, I got out of a bunch of positions first off, and then we went into the UVXY, which is the triple leverage of VIX. And so what you'll see here, UVXY, we got in right here a couple things. So number one, on the daily chart, price ran right into the daily 200 on the UVXY. Okay, so that's might maybe be some support, might want to bounce off. As it turns out, it absolutely did. The other thing you can see here is, look, we got the Moxie price trigger, and in addition to that, let me kind of zoom out so you can see this a little bit better, but look here, price down, indicator, well, if I could draw that better, indicator, geez, up like that. So see that divergence, see how price kept going further and further down, but the Moxie indicator stayed level and then started to turn up? That is divergence. That is positive divergence. That's saying, hey, price keeps going down, but the Moxie indicator is not, and it's saying, I don't want to go any lower. I'm trying to actually push price up. You know, my momentum is saying, I don't really want to go down there. So that is something to really see, and it's a telltale sign. The other thing that we could see here is, look, there is a trampoline move on the 15-minute time frame. And trampoline move is when price is below the 50 SMA and the Moxie indicator is above 0. Doesn't matter what time frame. So here it is on the 15-minute, and then pew, that thing really took off. So I got some nice emails from a lot of the subscribers saying thank you for that. One gentleman just told me that he made an easy $12,000 off that one trade alone. So very happy about that one. And then you can see here that that's where we got it. So the next day came out with that one, and that was the news, unchanged. Now let's kind of get into a few things to see where we're going to be going with this. Yeah, Teresa, good to see you. Hello everybody. And let's get into the market, because what's it doing? Now, for those of you who are showing up, remember to subscribe and to hit the like button and the alert button. That way you get the alerts. You know when I'm going to be coming on here. You get the message. You know, this is a pretty good, nice, free 30-minute session that we kind of get in here, get a little update, and it's been really good in order to get some good information across. So just remember to hit those buttons so that you can kind of get out here when you need to. Oh, let's see. Edward, how do you handle cases where the indicator is trending up but still below 0 and price is above the 50, for example, hourly MU? That sounds like an inverse trampoline move. Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick, because I think this is going to be the example. Are we talking about today, Edward? So I know we have a little bit delay in the response times, but let me know which date you're looking at for this, because this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So let me go back to the SPY, let me show you a few things, and then we'll dive into some examples, because we really are kind of at a critical juncture here. So remember, a trampoline move, what I just showed on the UVXY, is when price dips below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. Now just flip that idea. An inverse trampoline move is when price is over the 50, but the Moxie indicator is below 0. And that is what you can see what's possibly going on here. Price is trying to get over even a downtrending hourly 50, and look at the Moxie indicator below 0. That's not really a good situation. Now, I was willing to give it some leeway and give it some time, because yesterday it kind of held up, and my line in the sand is basically the 15-minute 50. If price can't hold the 15-minute 50, then you know our moving averages are not supporting us. You can see here, price couldn't get over the 15-minute 50 on the FOMC day last week, and that was the other issue. And then right now we are also underneath the 15-minute 200. Now let me go back and show you some examples, because this is what I've been posting all week, last week. And if we go here, let me blow this up. Okay, Monday tonight. Yeah, so Edward, we're going to be exactly covering what it is you are looking at for MU. And I think I was wondering if we were going to do this. So now, assuming everybody can see all of this, do you see how price got over the hourly 50? And you see how the Moxie indicator, even though it kind of trended up, but you see how the Moxie indicator stayed below 0? That is an inverse trampoline move. So for those of you out there in YouTube and Facebook and Twitter who aren't subscribers to me and don't have the indicator, I'm telling you, this is what really makes the power of the indicator, is being able to show us when the trap door is going to open up like this. So that's what it's telling us, is that energy and momentum is negative, even though it's trying to move up a little bit. It's still underneath 0, and price should not be over the 50. And look at the massive move down after that. Another couple of examples in situations like this. So look here, price tried to pop over the hourly 50, and notice the Moxie indicator was below 0. And I'll even show it over here. So this one was actually normal. This is a good situation. Price ran right into the underside of a downtrending hourly 50 right at the same time the Moxie indicator went to 0. And then here is where price tried to go sideways, tried to hold the hourly 200 there. It went sideways right into a downtrending hourly 50 while the Moxie indicator was very much below 0, and then big torpedo down. So guys, all I'm trying to do is show you out here and say, hey, this is a possibility. Now, one thing that's kind of throwing a wrench in my studies here, let me kind of see if I can zoom in on all this, is right here. If you guys remember, back when 2019, it was the new year, and the Fed basically totally changed their stance on the interest rates. Like they were raising interest rates, raising interest rates, raising interest rates, and then they're like, oops, I guess the market didn't like that, so they said, okay, we're gonna hold off and reverse rates. And then that just lit up 2019. Totally just huge, huge, huge move. Well, and Piper, to your question, does the Moxie give a signal? Yeah, look at this. There's your Moxie price trigger showing you that the energy has now gone negative on the hourly chart. So that's that indication. And then what you can see, the process right there, price got underneath the hourly 50 and then it went down. See how there's that process, there's that orderly series of events. And so I got rules, the Moxie subscribers and people who buy the indicator in the class get all this stuff and get the package and get the couple hour education of how to do all this. So looking at that, now it did bounce. There was a lot of momentum in that time, and look, it bounced right off. But notice here, price was also once again over the 50, and notice the Moxie indicator was still below 0 that entire time. And what did it do? Tried to bounce and then finally came back down one more time. Then here's where it got a little tricky. Got rejected by the hourly 50, but then it did a double bottom off of the hourly 200, put in some divergence right there, and then resumed. So this is kind of that difficult part of where we are right now, because I don't know if currently we're at this and it just needs to come back down a little bit to do a double bottom and then we'll go up again. But what if it's something more serious, like, well, let me kind of zoom over here. What if it's something more serious like these three that I just showed here? Come on. And that is really my question, because we don't know. All three of these moves eventually fell through the hourly 200 and had some pretty drastic drops to the downside. So which one do we want to be a little bit more prepared for? Which one, just in case, if it comes down and taps the hourly 200 again and does a double bottom and continues, great, no big deal, okay? But if it does this, well, then we're going to be in a world of hurt. And I don't know which way it's going to go. We'll kind of now step over to, let me swing over to the 15-minute. There we go. And we don't know where it's going to go. But what I will say is that if the 15-minute 50 continues to hold like this and we continue to kind of push up a little bit and we do get back over the hourly 50 and we continue to move up a little bit, then I'm going to be watching closely, because the Moxie indicator on the hourly chart is below 0 and it's not going to get back on top of 0 for quite some time. So this may not happen today, this may not happen this week. It might take a few more days in order for this to work out. It might happen Friday. Who knows? We have quad witching, which means that 4 series of options are all expiring this Friday. And some weird things happen. A lot of the big players in the market have real vested interest to make sure that the market and certain tickers end up in certain places, and they will do what they need to do in order to make sure they stay or pin at those places. So either nothing's going to happen, and then maybe all the fireworks happen next week after all the quad witching, or maybe there's some manipulation because maybe they need to get the market lower because they need it to get wherever they need it to pin or something like that. You don't know. Edward, I do not have after hours trading on. I only look at after hours just to see what happened after hours, but no, I do regular trading hours the entire time. So this is really challenging. I don't know right now at this point if price is going to continue to get rejected by the hourly 50, or if it's going to kind of continue to move up along the 15-minute 50 to try and keep pushing and making this a more excessive inverse trampoline move. I mean, literally, it's not moving, so we're right, right between two moving averages, trying to figure this thing out and say, well, what's it going to do? But boy, I'm telling you, I'm looking at this, and that is really in the back of my mind very strongly. Now, QQQ, notice we're doing the same thing. Now, it too, look, see, it's pushing up against the 15-minute 50, continues to do that. We are kind of near a double top area, and price is over the hourly 50. The Moxie indicator is still below 0. Now, the indicator can keep moving up, but it's coming from a source of negativity. It's coming from negative momentum area. It's coming from below 0. So imagine, price is trying to move the indicator instead of the indicator moving price. It's like the tail wagging the dog is one way you can look at it. So that's what's going on there. I'm a little, wondering when this musical chair is going to stop. And I think those are the things that we're looking at. IWM, it basically ran right into its daily 200, which is right there. And you can see it got rejected by the 200 again just the other day, yesterday. And look at this. The IWM has been a little bit ahead, like to the downside. This was Tuesday, and this was Wednesday of the FOMC. It had already started its downtrend a day before the rest of the market did. So it gave me a little bit of insight, and I'm wondering if it's going to do the same thing because it's a little bit weaker. And you can see, like, look, it is just running right into the underside of a downtrending hourly 50, and the Moxie indicator is still pretty far below 0. So I look at this and I wonder if IWM is a little bit ahead of the curve as far as the other things, and it just makes me think that, well, I mean, what are my rules? Aren't you supposed to short when price runs into a downtrending moving average because then it's likely to keep going down? Yeah, and the Moxie indicator is below 0. It says negative. So I'm looking at this and trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? Now there are some really good, yeah, exactly, Piper, canary in the coal mine. There are some things I'm looking at. If we say AYX, and man, I missed this. I was even telling my dad about this one yesterday. I said, Dad, I think you should get this. This thing's moving. Look at this thing. And then sure enough, today it exploded. I was just a couple days too late, but look right there. Follow the 15-minute 50 very, very well. And essentially, and I'm going to show you this as the overall theme for some of these bigger tech stocks, notice that they are just following the hourly 200. In fact, let me kind of put this on a bigger time frame so we can take a look at that. And it'll be easier to follow, but look. Just watch this. Follow the hourly 200 right there. And then let me show you CRM. Kind of do a little lightning round right here. And look what's happening. Follow the hourly 200. Yeah. And then, let's see. I got a whole bunch of names here. How about PZZA? Not tech, but pizza. Look at that one. Now that one I did snag. Follow the hourly 200. And then Scoop, C-O-U-P. Look what it did. Follow the hourly 200. So yeah, I'll just keep going through these names so that you guys can see there is a pattern, there is similarity, there's something going on. And what it is mostly, look at this, hourly 200, follow the hourly 200 right there. Okay, looking pretty good. How about now? NOW. What is this thing doing? Right there, follow the 200. And what else? Maybe we'll do another one. How about WDay? Messier, but what has it done? Stayed above the 200, stayed above the 200, stayed above the 200. So, take the look at that. This is why I use these moving averages. As long as price generally can stay above the hourly 200, seems to be doing all right. And that's why I look at this stuff and I say, well, maybe the market's going to go sideways. Maybe it's going to do a little pullback. But overall, tech, internet, stuff that you can work from home, or the Internet of Things is doing pretty well. There are some really good stuff out there. Ring, RNG, Okta, Net, FSLY. A lot of these things are doing quite well. Now let's see, IYT. What's going on with IYT? Kind of like IWM, right? Look at this thing. So it couldn't get past the 200, and now it's running into a downtrending hourly 50, and the Moxie indicator's below 0. Now this can get resolved after a while. Maybe, I'm just kind of speculating here, but maybe what it's going to do is it runs into this, maybe it needs to come back down, do a double bottom, and then it can resume. If I just showed you everything with tech so far has been following the hourly 200. So I'm not saying like we're going to crash and burn, or we're going to really, die right here, but maybe we need to do another pullback, maybe we need to do a undercut, maybe we need to do a double bottom, something. But generally, if we can hold the hourly 200, then we might be able to still keep going. But otherwise, and I'll put on the other side of that situation, if price keeps going up here, I'm going to be I'm going to be a little nervous because price shouldn't be coming up over a downtrending hourly 50 with the Moxie indicator below 0. So kind of keep those multiple things in mind as to what's going on. Then MRAN, let's look, see XLF, what's going on with that one. Said Moxie had 2 steps higher. Well, at the same time on the hourly, it was stepping down. Yeah, here's the thing. Alright, so what I'm looking at here with XLF is why, and this is the same thing with IYT, why is price going up over the last day or two, but the Moxie indicator continues to go down? Do you guys understand what it's trying to communicate to you? That if the Moxie indicator is momentum, why is momentum still going down if price is going up? I'll let that one kind of marinate. Think about that one. Yeah, let me keep kind of checking what you guys are talking about. Yeah, Matt, there you go. I think we just posted that. So thanks, Sarah, for helping that. And let's do ImGen. See what's going on there. There you go. Yeah, I think this one came up a little while ago. It's not quite what I would like to trade personally. It's a little bit erratic, but look what's happening. Hourly 200, hourly 200. You know, it's staying above, and the 200 is in the uptrend. And then actually yesterday, it bounced right off of the hourly 50. Not bad. Now the 8 has stayed over the 21 like this. This thing's been an uptrend, and it has been having some pretty good volume that's going on here as well. So a little bit messy. You know, this is what I'm talking about right here, and this is why I'm saying I'm willing to leave the door open for some things, but we got to take precaution in case the market doesn't want to do something, because here price was able to push up, and then what? It came right back down. So this is what I'm talking about. Right now we're kind of underneath the hourly 50, and sure, it popped. For this one's probably news or something crazy like that, but then what did it do? It came down, and then right here you could see it actually got supported by the hourly 50. That's kind of what I'm looking for, and until we can get back on top of there and prove that the hourly 50 is support with the market, you know, we can go down because we're underneath the moving averages. Alright, let's see. EWJ. What's that one? Now, price can continue to push up. We'll have to watch that, see what it's going to do. I'm using the 15-minute time frame to help figure that out. As I said, I'm not sure if we're going to really just implode, but I am wondering if we're going to need to do some sort of a double pullback in order to go up again. You know, just one more little chunk before we go. So just be prepared for that. Make sure that your positions are doing all right, and if anything's looking a little weak, you know, maybe take it off, because a weak position that's already kind of in a downtrend, if the market needed to take another dip, well, it's probably going to have an outsized move to the downside. Alright, so let me just kind of remind anybody who's coming in, because all of this is going to be recorded as well, come over to profitpilot.com. It's my brand over here. It's the website that I'm running. I got a lot of newsletters that I write. I'll be writing one actually. What is today? Today was Wednesday. I'll have to write one today, so Sarah, hopefully remind me about that one. And then for anybody who's asking some other questions, if you come over here to simplertrading.com/Moxie, this is where you can find the information for my alert service. And this is the group that I put out alerts. I put out weekly videos. I communicate daily with everybody in there, and you know, we actually have quite a few people here talking about that. And then for those of you who are looking for the indicator itself, this is actually, it's going to be stocks. simplertrading.com/stocks, right there. And you'll come here, and this is where you can pick up the Moxie indicator for yourself if you want to actually use the indicator. And then I have a 4.5-hour class. I know it might sound like a lot, but trust me, people have written me emails and just say, look, now that I've done this and now that I've done the class, I see the market in a completely different way, and it's added clarity and structure to things. So I'd just like to say thank you for those who've written those emails and told me that things are working out well for them. But come over here, simplertrading.com for stocks/stocks, and that's where you can find it. Todd, I have the exponential, let's see, the 8 and 21 are exponential, which are right here, and then the 200 and the 50 are simple for those moving averages. Alright, now one other thing before I get going, let's go look at UVXY and see if it kind of gives any clarity. Now typically what I'd be looking at is if this were any other kind of stock, I'd be kind of looking to go long, because what do we have? We have the 8 over the 21 on the daily chart. And we have price coming back down and looking like it wants to bounce off of the uptrending hourly 50. And the Moxie indicator is very much above 0. And then the other thing we can see is price is also over the hourly 200, whereas it's never done that before. If I kind of open this up a bit, you see how in this entire downtrend on the UVXY, you see how price has, this looks different. Doesn't this look different? It has never gotten over the 200 except for now, which leads me to believe that there might be a little something cooking, and we need to be aware of that in case something does happen. Now, that kind of brings me back to what I was saying with the market. We're still not sure. We are still underneath the 15-minute 50. You know, the Moxie indicator is below 0, but it's kind of trending up. We do have a squeeze. You know, it really feels as though this is the calm before the storm, and it is just kind of waiting for something to happen. Jerome Powell has been testifying a few times this week. I think he's doing it again today. We don't know. We're in a very tricky spot, and it feels like something is just kind of waiting. So make sure your stops are tight. Make sure things are taken care of. Maybe hold off on things unless you see something really good that really works for you. And yeah, just say, we're at a decision point. We really are at a decision point, and I'll show you one more thing. This is the put call ratio. We are extremely low, very, very low. And remember, the last times that we've been low right here, you know, we've turned around hard and quickly. So just be careful with that. Maybe we need just a double bottom. Maybe we need retest of something. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. He talks at noon. I guess would that be Eastern? Or what time zone? But yeah, he's going to be talking. Who knows? He has moved the market recently. You know, every time he says something, we're kind of just running off news right now. So we'll see what that does. As I said, make sure we kind of keep everything. I'm going to be looking at the 15-minute time frame. That's about the best guide I have right now, which for now it looks like it's holding up. So, you know, great. Looks like it's holding up. But we are running into a downtrending moving average, and the Moxie indicator is above 0 or below 0, and that's kind of something that I'm concerned about. So, all right, everyone, take care, and we will know the answer to what happens with this probably by next week. So when I see you again on Wednesday, oh, thank you, Eastern. He'll be talking Eastern, so about an hour from now. So we'll know next week when I come back and talk to you all. So thanks again. Talk to you then, and enjoy the rest of your day.